But getting back to the work rate, if Margarito's able to throw, well, he's gonna throw at least 80 punches around, right? Which is 20% more than Endu threw. So I mean, there's a good chance that Cotto might not be able to deal with Margarito's attack. You know, the constant pressure.
Right.
I mean, there's a good chance that could happen as well.
That's just so intriguing about this matchup. The styles are so contrasting, you know, and it's like and also like Margarito's never fought a fighter that's as accurate and as calculating as Cotto, and Cotto's never fought a fighter that is just as busy and aggressive as Margarito. So it just makes this so interesting.
Well, someone's going to break down. Someone's going to break down the other fighter. You know, someone's will is going to be broken. The thing is too with Cotto, getting back to the Endu fight, and people have said that he might have had a problem with the weight, making 140.
Right.
That possibly could have weakened him in some of those fights. So you have to think he's going to be stronger at 147. But again, looking at the Mosley fight, the last couple of rounds in that fight, he wasn't looking to engage.
Yeah,
he really wasn't.
He wasn't at all.
And he got by with, jabbing, out-jabbing Mosley, who's, 36 years old.
Yeah.
You know, Margarito's a little younger guy,
He's 30
too.
years old, 30
so,
years old.
you know, again...
Do you think also, too, speaking of, that was what I was going to ask you, about Margarito being 30 years old, he turned professional at 16. That's 14 years as a professional. Can that catch up to him? Maybe can he get old in this fight?
It's possible. It could happen, but I don't recall him being in any real wars either. You know, real tough fights.
Antonio Diaz, remember that one?
Diaz was all right. So he hasn't really gotten really beaten up. I mean, he has an aggressive style, but he hasn't really, made a career like an Arturo Gotti type of guy where every fight is, life and death. So I don't know. I don't think Margarito's past his peak at all. So I don't see that as a factor in his fight. I think he'll be ready to go.
Do you think like maybe even the because his training regimen is like pretty intense, like, and a lot of fighters say it's all about the training regimen as much as like the actual fights. Like, he trains up in the high, like a Tijuana, he trains up in the high, like the high altitude, the mountains and everything. So
throw that many punches, you have to be in top physical shape.
Right.
I mean, that's the way he operates. But it's possible he could overtrain. You don't know that. You don't know till he gets in the ring. He may be so geared up for Cotto that he may maybe overdo it. But there's no way of telling unless he comes out and throws 200 punches in the first round.
That would be deep.
I'd be a little concerned then in later rounds if he comes out that fired up. But I think he'll be in top shape, ready to go. I don't think weight's going to be an issue. He's never really had problems making the weight, so I don't believe that's going to be an issue with either fighter. So again, it's Cotto's a 2-1 favorite, but I look at it more as a pick 'em fight. I really do. But the odds makers seem to favor Cotto.
Yeah, and
I guess it's the punching power, maybe, but
and also the the pedigree, and also he's definitely had better opposition collectively over Margarito.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody in the boxing world would be really shocked if Margarito won the fight.
Oh, not at all. I'm going to go out on my prediction. I'm going to say that Margarito's pressure is going to really overwhelm Miguel Cotto. He's going to outwork him. I see Margarito in the decision. Unanimous decision.
The question is, will he get the decision in Vegas?
That is
a whole other issue.
That is true, but Puerto Rico's farther than Mexico.
and in Mexico, he's going to have a lot of fans. I would think, will be backing Margarito.
Right. That's for sure. And Bob Arum, I'm not saying Bob Arum's, just saying that, Miguel Cotto is more of a marketable guy, with him speaking English.
Exactly.
So
Cotto's name is already being, mentioned as a possible Mayweather opponent when Mayweather, chooses to come back.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure he will. Maybe not to fight Cotto, but I would think Floyd's going to fight again.
Yeah.
But a Cotto loss would kind of derail those plans. So I think Margarito's going to have to beat him pretty convincingly to get the decision.
Wow.
Maybe a knockdown. Again, the late rounds are going to be, I think, going to be very telling in this fight.
That's right.
Because it's going to be that constant pressure at Margarito.
And it's continuous.
And it's going to also be Cotto constantly hitting him, too. I mean, he's going to be able to sustain his attack in the late rounds after getting hit by a guy who, probably has the best body attack in the business. So, there are a lot of questions to be answered.
Wow, that's
coming into this fight. There really are.
That's for sure. And what's your prediction?
I'm going with Cotto. I just think he's got a little too much firepower. I think he's improving with every fight. I think he's in a mix. He's going to box a little bit. He's not going to stay there and slug with Margarito. He's going to box, and he's going to use the power shots when he has to. And I think Cotto's going to win a close, unanimous decision. Maybe controversial. Maybe there's going to be people that think Margarito won, but I think Cotto's going to get it. Wow. And they could fight again even. These are the kind of matchup that could be one of these trilogies.
Oh God.
As soon as they announced the fight, that's what I said. This has the possibility. Of course, there's the mesh of styles. The Mexican versus the Puerto Rican. You got the right fan base for both guys.
Right.
This is the type of matchup they could do it. They could go 2 and 3 times.
That's a great point. And also, too, and then it's the type of thing, after the trilogy, they both have to retire. Because
you would think, right?
They could not be able to fight anyone else again.
It wouldn't be worth it to go, right? Hopefully they'd make enough money to where they wouldn't have to do it. But
that's for sure.
Did they ever get out on time? But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, exactly.